I guess I could pull out the map and I can point to it and we can have a couple good laughs. Take a peek around at the good old US of A. Yeah, I got a couple different colors here. A couple different colors. I feel like Bob Ross. A little bit of purple and blue and red. I'm gonna smoke a doob. There we go. There's a picture of the good old US of A. Let's start with what I know about the old East Coast. Okay, got the whole East Coast here. I consider the entire eastern seaboard a disaster. Lots of people. A lot of people who live inland think they can go fishing for a living while the shit is hitting the fan. They're going to be there. Heavily populated. Danger zone to me. Anything in red here, like the entire southern end of Florida, up here around Orlando, some of the Pensacola area on the Panhandle, danger zones, right? There's our good old buddies New Orleans. Here's the Dallas, middle of Texas. What a fucking mess that's going to be when shit hits the fan. Up here in the center, there's probably going to be some crazy shit with Denver, people gathering there. Over here, this is an area that I didn't realize was so crazy, and that's the old Salt Lake City, Provo, Utah gathering point. Over here in California, you got the Bay Area, the Coastal Range, the entire Central Valley. That is Death Ride 5000, right? The LA Basin, that is going to be a smorgasbord of hell when shit hits the fan. Down here in San Diego, yeah, you got Las Vegas is going to be completely and totally fucked. They lost the recipe for water. They don't have any water. Yeah, Portland, SeaTac. We got some of the state capitals and larger cities throughout. Up in the Great Lakes area, everywhere there, death and mayhem as far as I'm concerned. Anywhere there's a major city, you don't want to be there when shit hits the fan. You don't want to be there while shit is hitting the fan, and even afterwards. Canada. You don't want to be anywhere near Canada. It's full of cannibals. They had to change the name from cannibal to Canada so that they could get a seat on the UN. So you don't want to go to Canada. Not a lot there for you. Mexico, once again, skull and crossbones in Mexico. That's dangerous down there. They like white meat. You guys go there, they're going to eat you. Oh boy. Anyways, all along the Mexican border, when shit hits the fan, I see as a veritable danger zone. Now, that is not to say within any area here, including Canada, right? There are going to be pockets of delight when shit hits the fan. There's going to be areas where the people are going to be great, where there's going to be plentiful resources. For some reason, whatever these weird reasons are, a warehouse full of food. Who knows where these places are going to be at? But they're going to be there, and you have to realize that, that's just the way it is, and you're not going to know about it unless you happen to be there. You're going to think, this ain't so bad. Didn't need to listen to that John guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But I did this area here in blue. This area, maybe 100 miles inland or 200 miles along the Gulf Coast, and I put it in blue because I believe that the amount of wildlife and food there is going to sustain a lot of people. There's a lot of natural habitat. It doesn't have a lot of population. There's going to be areas within it that are completely and total danger zones, but for the most part, I think you can live in those areas. The climate is not bad. Other areas like up north, it is just miserable cold in the winter. And during shit hits the fan, if you don't stay warm, right, you're dead. If you don't have the right clothing, you're dead. You're going to burn a lot more calories up north than you are down south. Burning calories to stay warm during the winter. It's going to be harder to live. Right? So I think the area along the Mexican border is going to be bad. There's going to be a lot of confusion and chaos. Not a good place to be. But I will say there's a lot of smart mofos in New Mexico, Arizona, down in southern Nevada, and all through this area. Everywhere I have green down here in the south. Let me give some kind of ad hoc Mason-Dixon line. There we go. Everywhere that's green south of that purple line, I think that's going to be pretty good living as far as the climate goes. There's going to be good areas that you're going to be safe. You're going to be out of the urban zone. The only problem I see with you making it out of an urban area, if you want to go rural, is there's going to be other people who have the same idea. And there's going to be people, let's say this nice little area right here on the west side of the Appalachians. Let's do that. And there's this zone right here. It's really good, has lots of nice lakes in it, rivers. It never gets snow in the winter. It's a nice, comfortable climate. Humidity's not too bad in the summer. You want to go there. Well, there's a good chance a lot of other people have heard about that area. And then what about the people that already live there? Think they're going to be happy about you showing up and another couple 100,000 people showing up? That's the problem with going someplace that others already occupy. You know, these areas that are in green, everywhere here. Let me make this the Rocky Mountains. Okay, everywhere west of the Rockies into this green zone, that's high desert. In the winter, it's desperately cold. In the summer, it's dry as fuck. There's a lot of water in that desert. This myth of deserts being without water, that comes from someplace else. There's a lot of rivers that run through here. There's lots and lots of rivers and places that water goes, but there's not a lot of trees. There's not a lot of wildlife. As a result, there's just not a lot to eat there. So if people were to flock there, you know, you're going to have a hell of a time sustaining yourself up in this northwest quadrant. All the green areas are good to be in because they're low population density. They do have some growing zones for farming, agriculture. There is some wildlife, but you can't count on that. Very rough zone. Let's take a look at this zone down here. We talked about this one. This green zone in here, east of the Rockies. Good climate. A lot of relatively low population density. But also a lot of people that don't want you to be there if that's not your home. It is more heavily populated than out west, this quadrant down here. You're going to have a lot more social interaction issues down in the south. That's just my opinion. Up north here, through the Dakotas and then Minnesota and Wisconsin, the north, and then all the way, I would say, through this section here. I don't know what you want to call that, the Ohio Valley and everything west of the Appalachians. It's also going to be very, very cold in the winter. There are areas that have good natural resources, good times to grow things, but there's a lot of population, a lot more density up in there. People are not going to be happy to see you. And I guess I'm painting a pretty gruesome picture. I'm talking about don't be here, don't be there, that's okay, but, you know, this isn't good, and they'll eat you up north, and up here, you know, you can only eat so much beaver, you know, and it's going to be up around the Great Lakes, you're screwed. Basically, I think I've laid it out. When shit hits the fan, you're screwed. There's really no place to go that's any good. Yeah, let's go with that. There's really no place to go that's any good.